Hello my superior and inferior, my name is Shin, and today for another episode of Shin Toy Review, I will be reviewing the Transformers 2007 Deluxe Class Jazz. Now for those who don't know who Jazz is, he's basically Optimus' first lieutenant, and he's a type of robot that loves music. He loves jazz, you know, perfectly with his name, you know. This guy here is the first release of the 2007 Transformers the movie. As you can see, Jazz here is a Pontiac Solstice, and very cool vehicle mode. I do like the design of the vehicle mode. It looks so sleek and very elegant looking. I think out of all the Autobots, I think he's the only one has the smallest vehicle mode, but this guy I think is the smallest one in the team. But yeah, let's take a closer look at detail. Front here, detail for the grills, very cool. The Pontiac logo, very nice, and done in red. The headlights done in metallic lighter blue, which does create a cool effects on it. I do love that. The signal lights, I believe, it's painted in, but it's not detail there, just a slightest paint. Bottom lights here, done in that same lighter metallic blue with metallic yellow. The wheels, very nicely detailed. The rims also, and I love that they actually put a silver trim around the tires, which does create a cool effect. The grill, I think so, also detailed very nicely. The doors, side view mirrors, nicely molded. Handle for the doors are nicely molded too. This section here also nicely molded. The gas cap, very nice. Top of the roof here has some details also. Oh yeah, unfortunately this guy is done in this unpainted gray plastic, which doesn't bother me. It does bother some people. I know there's the premium release of this guy, and it looks so much better with the silver paint. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a used figure, but it's all in good condition. I have the accessories completed. The windshield here, no windshield wiper details, but it's fine. The windshield here, done in that transparent blue plastic. Very nice. One thing that I noticed about this figure, they actually bothered to put the interior detail for the vehicle, even though this is not Human Alliance or Alternators figure. I mean, of course, as you can see, the steering wheel is suffocated, but you know, it's fine. I mean, at least the details are there. The dashboard from the front view looks great. Back here, very cool design. I love this kind of car where it has these little things here. The back windshield is supposed to be there. I love this curvature detail, and the spoilers, very nice. You know, you can move this as you wish, but you know, it's supposed to stay up like that. The tail lights here, done in orange. Back here also, done in that orange color. Of course, this is the foot section. Unfortunately, the foot section is done in black. You know, it's kind of ruined the aesthetic. This section also poking out, which, you know, kind of ugly, but you know, which they could have done a nice job. One thing I want to say about this figure, I do have a problem with this figure. There's ups and downs to it, which we will talk about later, especially in the robot mode. Here's the bottom, as you can see. Yeah, you know, you can see some robot bits. I mean, the thighs and the kneecaps. I mean, at least this section is covered up very nicely. And of course, what an Autobot First Lieutenant without some accessories. Jazz here does come with this weapon here. This weapon here is, obviously it's not accurate to the movie, but it's fine. You know, got some little details here and there on the side. At least the weapon that included with this guy. And these do extend, and it's very tight on mine, but this section does extend. Ow! Oh, I gotta be careful with this thing right here. It's very sharp. Hurt my fingers. Sometimes I use my nails to slide it out, like that. And you have this kind of very sniper vibe to me. It's more like it almost looks like a harpoon to me. It really does looks like harpoon. But yeah. You can take this gun here and you can actually store it. There's a hook here that will just hook in into this section here at the spoiler here. Hook it in like this, like that, and there you have a weapon storage for Jazz. Obviously this is not an elegant weapon storage, but at least it stores somewhere at least. But yeah, overall though, very nice vehicle mode. I really do love this vehicle mode. And of course, for being a vehicle, it does roll very nicely and very smooth like. I mean, yeah, you can see very loud. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Sorry about that. Oh. For size comparisons, here he is with my Dark of the Moon Deluxe Bumblebee. So, you know, you can get a sense of scale, how he scaled with a Deluxe figure. I mean, obviously this is from Duck Moon, so you know, obviously the scale is not gonna be correct. It's fine. And you know what? For some group shot, here is Jazz with all of the Autobot members. Here he is with Ironhide, Bumblebee, and of course their leader, Optimus freaking Prime. And wow, they look so good together now that I have this lineup of the Autobot members. It's just so good to see that, you know. Well, you can't see Bumblebee, so I'm gonna put Ironhide here. But yeah, just very cool. I really love Bayverse. I don't care what people say about this franchise. I mean, at least they gave us a good toy, you know, to remember the moments of this franchise. But for some people, you know, they don't like Transformer adaptation as in live action film. But to me, when I was a kid, this was my childhood. And this what had brought me to Transformers community. And I appreciate what Hasbro and Uncle Bay have done with designing the character. At least they gave us a good toy and cool vehicle form. This kind of ruined the silhouette here. There we go. That looks so much better. The only members of the Autobot that I don't have is Ratchet. You know what? Someday, you know, when I have the time, if I got a lot of support, I can promise you guys to review Ratchet if I own that figure. But for the meantime, let's just take a moment of this lineup for the Autobots. Look how cool they looks. Yeah. Very cool size comparisons. Alrighty, the moment that you guys have been waiting for is the transformation. Just like Revenge Fallen Warrior Ironhide, it's actually simple to transform. Alrighty, let's begin the transformation. You want to untap the back section here, untap this back panel here, like that. Fold this spoiler and it will swoop into place. Slide this Shin section here. This section here is on a double hinge, so you want to bring it down halfway, rotate the shins. Rotate the shins facing forward, flip out the heels. Very hard to pull out, but it's actually simple. Pull the heel out, bring the foot down, bring the foot down. This section here, rotate it around. If you fold it all the way, you will hear a soft click. Poop into place. Coming to the upper body section here. This section here, which will be his arm, basically you want to untap this section here and you want to pull the arms up like that. It's kind of hard to explain to you. Actually, this guy does have an automorph. You can use this gimmick here to untap this section very easily instead of using your nails, but you can use this for a leverage to pull out the roof section here like that. This section here is on a double hinge. I don't know if you can see that, but it's on a double hinge. Pull them up. Yeah, like that. Pull the hands out. Pull it up. Going to fold down the legs like that. There's a tab here. There's a big port right there. Bring it down and just clip them in. This section is on a double hinge. You wanna bring it down like this until it collapses it like that. This section here is on a hinge. Bring it up. Rotate this down, rotate this down, bring this up. It's on an hinge also. Bring this up. This section is on a double hinge. So basically you want to collapse the elbows in. Fold them like this. Like this. That's the oriental position for the elbows. Right there. Fold this around to create his elbow. Bring the arms down. Like that. Lastly, this guy does have a automorph gimmick. Fold this section down, and when you fold this section down, there's two slots right here which will tap in into that two tabs right there. As you fold it down, the head will go up, tap in this two tabs here. The chest will, this section extend by itself. This section here is compressed in. So that's really cool. I do love that. And then you can take this backpack here, is on a double hinge, so you know you bring them up like that, and that's basically it. So here he is, Transformers 2007 Deluxe Jazz in its robot mode. And I don't want to say this is not the best representation of Jazz. I mean, out of all the Transformers figure that I have, this Jazz, it's kind of hard actually to let out my thoughts here, but it's a fine Jazz. I mean, it's not like the most movie accurate Jazz. I don't know, something about this guy just doesn't have that feel of Jazz to it. I mean, it still have that spirit of the character, just something's just a little bit off. It had to do with the weird proportion. But, you know, anyway, just taking a closer look at the head sculpt here. As you can see, the head sculpt is not that bad actually. I kind of like it. Simplified Jazz look. It still have that Jazz vibe to it. I mean, it's just not accurate representation of Jazz. At least they gave him a visor, which is very good thing because that's very Jazz vibe. I mean, very kitty ears. The chest here, very disproportionate chest right here, as you can see, protruding out. The arms, very simplified arms, not a lot of detail here. The elbows here, very tiny joints there. It looks like Jazz is lack of energon. Look at that little hands, very tiny hands. At least they got some detail though. Here you have his classic Jazz crotch with an Autobot symbol. There we go. There's a metallic gold for the side of the crotch here. Very nice detail. The thighs here, very nicely detailed. Has that same metallic gold. There's a matte black inside the thighs. This section here, done in red paint. Another problem that I have with this figure is that I wish Hasbro could have done something with this side section. As you can see, it kind of ruined the silhouette of the figure. I wish that this section could rotate around and fold in some way, but you know, knees, very nice molded detail. The pipes here, and it's also done in that metallic gold. The foot, very nice molded detail. The side here, also some details. Here's the detail for the side of the wheel. Very nice, very cool. For being a small lieutenant, at least it does contain some articulation. The head here, it's on a ball joint. A lot of wiggle room, that's very nice. And you can make the head look up about that far and look down that far. Does rotate, full 360. Arms does rotate, full 360. And it does move in and out on this hinge right here. This section here is on a hinge also, so you can use it, you know, to get some more outward movements. That looks ugly. As you can see, it does not contain elbow rotation, which is kind of unfortunate because to get this guy in certain pose is very hard. So this guy is very limited in terms of articulation. You can bend the elbow, but very limited range. If you use this hinge here, it's under 90 degrees, but you know, just unfortunate. No any sort of wrist articulation. No sort of waist rotation due to the engineering of this figure. The legs can kick forward that far, can move back about that far before it collide with the backpack. Does move out, you know, and it can get some pretty widespread. Unfortunately, this guy does not have any sort of thigh swivel, which is very unfortunate because it really ruins the articulation. But instead they give you shin rotation, which, I mean, it's kind of useless actually. Would have been nice if they put a thigh joints. The knee does bend about that far. Wow, what a waste, Hasbro. Really? You're gonna do this to Jazz? He's a freaking hip-hop character style. Give him some movement at least. You know, you can rotate this bit so, you know, it can bend more, but range is still limited. The foot can move up and down. Does move down about that far. In terms of articulation, this guy is quite limited actually. It's decent, but you know, it's lacking at certain parts. I just wish that Hasbro could have done more because he's Optimus First Lieutenant, so he should be more athletic. Here's the back detail. Forgot to show you the detail with the backpack here. Very nice. And if you take his weapon here and extend it, there's a tab here. Fold this out. There's a port right there. Fold the hands in. Tap this in. You can have Jazz shoot some Deceptic creeps. I mean, it's not an accurate weapon and all, but at least the display are there, even though this is not accurate. So you can kill some Decepticon and attack some little bit. Actually, you can take this section off. This section here can become his shield. There's a tab here. In the wheels here, there's a port right there. Like this. And you know, you can have Jazz with his shield right here. I mean, you know, you get some protection for the shoulder, but it's kind of useless actually because the design is very lame because it's just the back of the part of his vehicle mode. I just found out recently when I watched this guy video here, you can replicate the look of his shield. Just wanna collapse this gun here. And if you notice that the gun actually have this section here, and if you saw the backpack here has this hinge section here, you can actually replicate his look of a shield in the movie. It does do a great job of capturing it, but definitely not the most Jazz proportionate shield, but that's pretty cool to actually find features for this guy. So you know, you can jump around, he's just gonna shoot the freak out of you. Like what, Jazz? Like little bit. For size comparisons, here he is with my Dark Demon Deluxe family. You can see how they look together. And of course, here is Jazz with their human allies, Sam with Wiki. So, you know, Jazz can be like, what's up, little bitch? And I think for the most relevant size comparisons, here is Jazz with all of the Autobot members. Here we have Bumblebee, Ironhide, and lastly, the leader of the Autobots. Here he is with Optimus Prime. Hang on. Here they are, and oh my Primus, they look so good together. My god, look at this squad right here. They look so cool together, especially when Optimus Prime is so big. It makes the comparison so much better. I mean, the only members that I don't have is Ratchet, but you know, someday I will own him. But for now, take a moment for this shot right here. This is just amazing. This is the Autobot team. That's so cool. Oh, and I forgot one more members of the Autobots. Of course, they're human allies. Sam Wiki, and that looks so much better. Look at that. Look at this squad right here. That's so cool. Overall though, this figure is a fine Jazz. I mean, it's a decent Jazz. I mean, it's not the most accurate representation of the Jazz from the movie, but as a figure form, I mean, this is a fine Jazz. I mean, of course, it had a lot of problems like the lack of articulation, limited range of posability, inaccurate accessories, but you know, if you take a look at the good side, at least they put some details. If you want a more proportionate or posable figure that still represent Jazz, of course, buy the MPM ones. I mean, that's the solution actually. If you take a good side of it, at least the vehicle looks great, the sculpting and the painting is great. I never seen a complaint that people didn't like this figure. It's just the way that Hasbro put this thing together. It's just, you know, wish they could have done more. In terms of my rating, due to all the downsides, I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10. Hey, that's actually a pretty decent rating there, you know? It's impossible for this guy to get 7, but you know, I give a 7 for this guy because you know, at least you get a good vehicle mode. I mean, the robot mode is decent, but the details are there and the painting and sculpting is nice. So, you know, but yeah, overall, decent Jazz figure. And I think that's it. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave a like and comment down below so let me know what you think. If you want to see my future content, why not subscribe today, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, and why not share this video to your friends, so you know, maybe you can inspire them to become a beginner of the YouTuber. And yeah, that's pretty much it guys. So my name is Shin, till all are one.